Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new Animal Crossing New Horizons video. Now we are only 2 days away from February, which is a fairly busy month anyway, but sees a pretty wholesome event and villager activity you don't want to miss. That event is of course Valentine's Day, that like the real world is celebrated on February 14th. However, a bunch of stuff associated with Valentine's Day begins on February 1st, and depending on how seriously you take Animal Crossing and how much you love your villagers, there is some preparation you can do in the lead up to the event. Of course, this is entirely optional, but doing a tiny bit of preparation for the event, if you're already playing, will make sure you get the most out of this experience. So today we're going to break down a couple of things you can do in advance to prepare for Valentine's Day. But first, I just wanted to remind you I also upload daily on my Let's Play channel, The Maury Plays, where tonight we are starting a Zelda the Minish Cap series that will run alongside our current Animal Crossing City Folk Let's Play. If you're a fan of casual gameplay and looking for free ways to support this channel, please consider subscribing over there. Anyway, Valentine's Day is a surprisingly larger event than it seems and offers a lot more content than the typical Nook Stop seasonal events. And in short, the better prepared you are, the more content you'll get to experience, at least for those who enjoy taking part in events. So there are basically two things you can do to prepare for Valentine's Day. The first is of course buy a bunch of the limited time chocolate heart and heart shaped bouquet items from the Nook Stop. This is because you may want to send them out to your villagers in the mail in honour of Valentine's Day. And the second is becoming best friends with your villagers, or at the very least boosting their friendship level as high as possible before February 14th. Now the reason your friendship level with villagers is so important is because this essentially defines how they interact with you during Valentine's Day and decides whether or not they're going to send you a Valentine's Day letter and present. And not only does this basically unlock rare dialogue whilst you're playing, but there are several types of Valentine's Day letters you can receive. Anyway, no matter whether you prepare for the event or not, Isabelle, being the adorable, hardworking island resident she is, will send you a Valentine's Day letter along with a seasonal gift. But you also have the chance to receive bonus Valentine's Day letters and more gifts from your best friends. And the more best friends you have, the more letters you can receive, and I'll share why this is important towards the end of the video. But first, it's useful to know how you can increase your friendship levels with your villagers in order to receive these letters. Essentially, there are 6 friendship tiers, level 1 and 2 being new friends, level 2 and 3 being good friends, and level 5 and 6 being best friends, each with a point system that increases or decreases based on how you interact with them. Now, the friendship mechanic is a giant rabbit hole and we could talk about it for hours, so we'll just highlight the main aspects you need to know. Essentially, all you need to do is regularly talk with your villagers by making sure you get that daily conversation and continuing with any side quests they ask you to do. This could be catching a bug, selling them an item they ask for, attending birthday parties, or even giving them medicine when they're sick. If you pretty much go along with what the villagers are asking of you, you will gain points for each interaction and your friendship level with them will increase. Fortunately, unlike earlier games, there's not much that will actually decrease your villagers' friendship level, but if you're really cruel and keep hitting them with a net until they react and get upset, it will damage your friendship slightly, as will sending them trash or rotten turnips, for example. Weirdly enough, ignoring them does nothing and their friendship levels will stay the same, which is why it's so hard to get villagers to move out to New Horizons compared to previous games. Anyway, if you speak with your villagers several times a day when you pass them, or deliver the lost items correctly, for example, you'll be best friends with villagers in no time. And only at this point will villagers decide to send you Valentine's Day letters and a gift, which, let's face it, is super adorable. Now, as a quick side note, the villager photo mechanic also follows this system and is based on friendship level. So if you're also looking to collect villager photos and wondering why you haven't received any yet, it's probably because you need to interact with your villagers more. Anyway, the reason you may want to have as many best friends as possible before Valentine's Day is because there are different Valentine's Day letters and dialogue available from different villager personalities. days. So if you want the most out of this mini event and to experience everything there is to offer because you enjoy all of the hidden content in New Horizons, you're going to want to prepare for the event as much as possible and boost those friendship levels. Now there is even more to the Valentine's Day event, but we'll save that for another video. As always, thank you so much to the patrons and channel members for supporting this content, and if you'd like to see all of the updates coming to New Horizons in February, be sure to check out this next video. Peace.